Technology seems to be the word of the day in the motorcycle industry. Companies are finding new ways to make your ride more comfortable and safe in just about any way they know how. Take the Kawasaki Concourse 14 ABS. It's shaft driven, it's got heated grips, and a power windscreen to make your ride more comfortable as you go down the road. Looking at it, you get the sense that it was designed by a team of engineers and a whiteboard trying to figure out the best way to make your ride as comfortable as it can be. It really is a success story in modern motorcycle engineering. But what happens when a company acknowledges technology in the industry and chooses to completely ignore it? Please meet the Triumph Scrambler. No acronyms exist on this bike. No ABS, no heated grips or cruise control either. Instead, the Triumph Scrambler sports a relatively primitive look, reminiscent of the motorcycles that our fathers introduced us to. A throwback to a time when motorcycles were simple, and so was life. Its 900cc parallel twin engine works overtime to provide you with 51 horsepower and 54 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a throttle, brakes, and a nice friendly style, which makes the Scrambler easy to get acquainted with, which we are about to do. To spend some very needed quality time with this Triumph, it seemed fitting to take to the 4 a.m. city streets, devoid of traffic and people. I ventured out to catch the views of the urban jungle the slumbering residents were missing. Few cars and blinking lights left me alone with this motorcycle, only with the sound of the Scrambler to keep me company.
The bike is basic. It doesn't have a whole lot to it. You don't have heated grips, you don't have fuel gauges and temperature gauges and all of those other things that you can find on a lot of newer bikes. You get a feeling of yesterday with this bike. A feeling that you're carrying on the tradition of motorcycling the way it was meant to be. It's just wonderful to be on.
And the look? Well, see for yourself. Every aesthetic detail on the Scrambler has been considered. I can imagine that this would be something sitting in Andy Warhol's living room if he were alive today. It is a work of art in the motorcycle world, with curves and angles that only Triumph can achieve. A dumbed-down set of mechanical pieces that would make this bike desirable, at least in theory, to just about any rider out there. But the primitive aspect of this bike, can it be overlooked? And with all the modern technology that exists out there today, why would somebody buy such a primitive machine?
This is why. Because this bike is just fun. I feel like I'm doing a run from the Ace Cafe in North London. I mean, this isn't a cafe racer, but it does kind of make me want to reach for the ton. It's an incredibly good traveling bike, and it gives you that perfect level of cool that you kind of want in a motorcycle, to be honest. The ergonomics are fantastic, the suspension is good, and the bike in general is just incredibly solid. Triumph has managed to keep that very nostalgic look to the Scrambler without sacrificing comfort. It's a solid ride, and it's the simplicity of it that makes it so much fun. And it's just a joy to be on. What Triumph has managed to do is keep the form of the 60s and 70s without having to have you deal with the function of the 60s and 70s. It's not one of the most common bikes in the world, so it tends to turn a few heads as you're going down the road. And that is, I have to admit, kind of a boost to the ego. If I had to pick a word to describe this bike to you, it would probably be surprising. The straight seat looks like it would be constantly reminding your kidneys that it's there. It is, in fact, very comfortable. The ergonomics are surprisingly refined. This bike is just surprising in just about every way that a motorcycle could be. Another thing that's very surprising is how the numbers on this bike translate to the back wheel. And this bike comes out of the factory with 52 horsepower. But those numbers, when you get on this bike and start to ride it, don't translate exactly. It seems to have a lot left no matter how fast you're going, whether it be 25 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour, it always has power left to give you. And all I can really say to Triumph is thank you, thank you, thank you.
So the Scrambler gives you fun and a sense of nostalgia. But there are a couple of things that it doesn't give you. Although this motorcycle is very comfortable, it sports a small 4.2 gallon tank, which, for traveling long distances, isn't the most convenient. If you're the kind of person that likes to personalize your bike, you may also find that accessories are limited. Top case racks are available for this bike, but if you want to run a set of panniers, you may find it difficult to find luggage racks for them. And, being an air-cooled engine, this motorcycle does get very hot in city traffic. So the Triumph Scrambler has style and comfort. It also has a very basic design. So with an approximate $9,000 price tag, what exactly is one buying into with this motorcycle? In a word, heritage. You see, the Triumph Scrambler provides you with a connection to history. To all those adventurers and amateur mechanics who embrace the connection between man and machine. When you're on a bike such as this, you can't help but feel like you're carrying on a tradition of motorcycling in its core. The look, the ride, the sound, all work together to instantaneously convert you into a purist at heart. And for that, I'll buy in anytime. We hope you enjoyed our video. To watch more videos, and to stay up to date on new videos we produce, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, to read articles and enjoy photography from around the world, visit our website at outlandmoto.com. Thanks for stopping by. We hope to see you soon.